10 coats of paint stained in tobacco.
And look, we're right here. Victoria Taft, I'm your adult in the room. That's right. I am an adult. I'm not a child in the room. I'm an adult, and it's great to have you here. We've got a full docket today. I want you to see it. Here we go. We are talking about communism crack for dummies. We'll tell you about that a little bit. Antifa attacks a couple sleeping in their bedroom. Gee, that sounds normal, doesn't it? Trump wakes up on Iran and the unraveling of Candace Owens, plus big news out of the Tyler Robinson preliminary hearing in Utah. He's the guy accused of shooting and assassinating Charlie Kirk. Big news. You'll hear from his trans boyfriend also coming up on this live stream today. So it's, do you feel like there's just some sort of theme going through the live stream today? Well, it's not a mistake. It sort of fell together like that. And there's the general theme, and the general theme is that it's a corrosion, it's a censorship, it's a by any means necessary zeitgeist running through the left today. And by extension, the entire political process. So many ways. Today we look at it theoretically and in real life. Now, you might think, for some of you Tommy Boy fans, yeah, that's a barrier to entry. I know that a lot of lefties like to listen to this and watch this live stream, sometimes at the time, sometimes later, which is fine. And I'm glad you're here, actually. I'm glad you're here, because you know what that means? It means you're willing to learn something, at least from my point of view. And hey, I don't have a corner on the market on truth, but I do have my own opinion and I do have facts. And so I'm very happy that you're here. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on your side of the political aisle today and how it has resulted in violence against individuals and things that are totally opposite to what you contend you believe. What is this intolerant, censorious, vicious, and violent look like? What does this kind of belief system look like in real life? Well, it's embodied in the Graham Plattner campaign, believe it or not. He's a Nazi tattoo-wearing rapist, alleged rapist. But you think, so what? He's our alleged Nazi tattoo-wearing rapist. It's embodied in DSA eating its host, the Democrat Party, and being unapologetic about wanting to destroy what makes America great, which is free markets and free minds, private land ownership. And they do it with a religious zeal in their Church of Atheism the whole time. And they do it with a lot of rationalization of their own hypocrisies, and they also do it with viciousness toward other people who do not agree with them. They use violence, and we'll talk about that today. It's amazing. We see it in the Charlie Kirk assassination, trial of Tyler Robinson. A lot of conspiracy theories out about that, and they disappear. Boom. With just a couple of days in court where all of those conspiracy theories just dissolve into thin air about what is happening here. We see the nihilism involved in that case. We see the leftist radicalization in that whole thing. And we'll have the whole thing for you in a bit. And we have the Candace Owens situation. I mean, I have not been getting into the Candace Owens thing because, good God, I don't want her turning on me because she's mean. She's terrible, actually. But I have to say she's mean and she's terrible, and she's been lying for a long, long time. And I'll tell you more about that coming up. And there's an actual study that we talked about the other day and shared it with you on Tuesday about how she has really led to a assassination permission structure against Erica Kirk. It's wild. I mean, it's wild. I don't want her to be censored. I do not want her to be censored. Nope. But I want her listeners and viewers to be smarter about it. So anyway, Graham Plattner, nihilism, and where does all of this come from? We're going to talk about the entire superstructure of this, and we'll talk about that with J. Michael Waller, who's the author of Big Intel, and we'll talk about his take on many of the news stories of the day and how it plays into what we're talking about. So there you go. I want to introduce you to Tommy Boy. Some of you maybe have seen him on this stream before, and of course he's got a very popular live stream, Tommy TV, on YouTube, and he's got a bigger channel than I do. But then again, most people do. But what happens here is he has a bigger following, definitely. And if you want to be able to understand some of it, then that's when you watch me. Hey, Tommy, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Doing as good as we can be, I guess.
You are my example of what happens when this whole mind virus of the left and exemplified in Antifa manifests itself into violence. I mean, I know a few people, and you're one of many to whom this has happened. And what happened? I do have some cuts of you talking about it, but I'd prefer to hear it from you right now.
So we on the 4th of July we went to 3 different events, 3 different anti-4th of July events, pretty much. And I got home that night. We went to the last protest at like 8:30 at the Elk statue in Portland.
Yeah.
And I think that was the most violent one, of course, because it was all black bloc.
Yeah.
And it was all
when you say
all black bloc, the normal ones that we deal with in Portland,
Tell people what black bloc mean. Most of my listeners know, but I mean, some people. I mean, I have some boomers too. So tell people what that means.
It's the Antifa members that dress all in black bloc with vests and all the gear that they're going to need, pepper spray, everything, helmets, masks, gas masks. It's the radical Antifa. It's the ones that want to be out causing chaos and committing crimes and committing violence against people that disagree with them.
They're the people that their overseers ask, what are you willing to do in this moment? And are you willing to get arrested? Are you willing to do harm? And of course, all that implies. And these guys are willing to do it. And we've talked to some, I've spoken to a lot of those guys, and over the years, and some of the anarchists are smart people. Some of these dillweed Antifa not that they don't overlap, they do, but
Yeah,
some of the
absolutely.
end. Yeah.
Some of them are very smart. Some of them are, and that's probably where they're getting all their information from. The ones that are good on the computers, the ones that are, I'm sure there's tons of these people that, not just the ones that are on the street, but the ones that are behind the scenes doing the things that are most needed for these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me just pull up this comment that just came in. And I highlighted it before, but I wanted you to see it. I'll never forget seeing Antifa attack parents walking back to their cars with their kids in the strollers in 2018, 2019 here in Huntington Beach, California. I remember that. They did it in Encinitas too. And
they've done it out here to Christians. There was it was I don't know what it was like around that time too, and they went to the waterfront downtown Portland and tried to do like a little Christian faith ceremony thing in a public area.
Yes.
And Antifa came and they tore down all their big speakers and they maced all of them. And so we know exactly how violent these people are, and they continue to show. Like this last thing was the most violent they've ever done because it involved my wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
It's the most extreme they've gone to this point, and they've gone to some pretty extremes in the past, but this was just on another level.
Yeah. And I know people like you. You're a strong young guy. You go down to these things and you yell at people, and you stream it and you catcall and all sorts of things. There's no law against that, by the way.
No.
There's no law against it. And so you do your free speech thing, you record. Antifa doesn't like that.
No.
And so they want to deprive you of your First Amendment ability to record, etc., when at your will on a public street. Everyone has the presumption, or actually there's no privacy presumption on a street at a protest. So you're there, and thank you. Appreciate that. Hey, that's your friend, right?
Yeah, that's
There you go.
Candace. Yeah, I do my shows with them. I got a show with them tonight
Yeah.
at 5:00.
Okay, so then you go, you're recording, they chase you off. How did they chase you off?
So they get in a large group. The only time they do this is when they're in large numbers, and they know that we're not there for violence. They know that we're just there to record their antics. And so they get in a huge group and they start using buzzwords like Nazi and all these fascists and get out of our city. And they start following us, and you can feel the shift in the air, when it's like, okay, these people are going to become violent. So it's time to start walking. Even the cops were trying to stop them from coming towards us, and they were on the cops. Yeah, even they went around the cops and just kept coming. There were so many of them that the cops that were there, they couldn't they couldn't control them, so we ended up walking all through downtown Portland that night, like trying to get away from them, and they followed us and followed us and followed us until finally they stopped. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that's who somebody from that group is the ones that came to our house that night.
Yeah, they didn't stop, did they? They followed you home, didn't they?
Well, when we left, I guess a lot of people stayed there, and it got pretty violent down there. Like they attacked a few people. Bear mace was deployed. They attacked people that were just walking by and happened to record what they were doing, and they didn't like that and attacked them. So yeah, they were out for violence that night. They were out for blood.
Was anybody arrested that night?
No.
I saw some. Of course not.
I don't think so. I've never seen anybody get arrested that night. And there was people when we were there. There was this black dude that we've had lots of interactions with. I call him Crooked Letter I. And he was there, and he was getting crazy with Zach and somebody else. And he was like trying to go around the cops to get to him. And he was hitting the cops' hands away, like anybody else, they would have been arrested immediately,
Absolutely.
And he hit their hands away a bunch of times. No, they didn't arrest him. They seen him actually threatening, saying, I'm going to beat your ass, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, nobody got arrested. I highly doubt anybody got arrested.
Yeah. I don't recall seeing anybody getting arrested. In fact, I was kind of surprised that they were still trying that. Whatever. Sorry about my misspelling and my note to the people who just subbed. Thanks, your friends.
Yeah, everybody goes up to her channel. Yeah, for sure.
I think that's great. I just really think it's great that it's growing, that you've got a following. Obviously, it's a big deal. And here's the thing. So they follow you home, but before we talk about the fact that they followed you home.
See, I don't think they followed. I don't think they followed me home that night. Honestly.
Okay.
Like no. I don't see how I wouldn't have noticed somebody following me home. I think they already had my address. I think they already did.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
From
and you thought
to Seattle, like yeah.
Tell me about that, because I've heard you mention the fact that you think Seattle PD gave you up and gave up your address, etc. And
so I can't say for sure, but that's the only place that I've given that's the only thing that I've given my new address to. And I really, really didn't want to, I tried my hardest not to give them our new address. And I ended up giving it to them because they said they would keep it secure. It wouldn't be public, considering I was a victim and I've been doxxed and all this, And so I can't say it was the police. I can't say it was the police department. Maybe somebody in the police department that has access, but I can't say for sure. But I wasn't the only one that got doxxed the next day after that Seattle trip, And so that's where I think it came from.
Under what circumstances why did they have your address again? Were you stopped and shipped down for info or what?
No, so in Seattle, we went to the Pride event in Seattle to walk around and just record in public and see what was happening. And we got attacked. Earlier in the day, I got pepper sprayed. They surrounded us and tried to run us out of a public city, and ended up pepper spraying me pretty fucking good in the eyes, And then later, I ended up wiping it all out. We went to the cops and I pressed charges and they let the person go. And then later in the day, after I went and changed and wiped my face and we continued streaming, we were walking through Cal Anderson Park, and two of the same people that were involved in macing me started following us and calling us Nazis, saying Nazis in the park, Nazis in the park, starting a fire with everybody that was there. So we continued walking through the park and got to the end of the park and stopped in the street not even in the park no more. And that's when they started coming, slowly but surely more and more people started coming. And at one point we were completely surrounded by 200-300 people. And they were throwing eggs and beer bottles, beer cans, and all kinds of stuff at us. And then one of them ran inside of his house and put a mask on and got a baseball bat and came out and tried to hit me with the baseball bat. And luckily I jumped out of the way just in time. But my friends Shane and Nico both got hit because he went from trying to hit me and instantly swung at Shane and Nico. And it hit Shane's tripod, thankfully, because it probably would have broke his arm. But it also, in the same swing, hit Nico in the hand and the elbow. And got her pretty good, But he got arrested because our friend Jimmy was able to pepper spray him while he was doing it. So he wasn't able to run off very far, And so we ended up having to go to the cops came 40, 50 deep, come running across the park. And so they took us to the police station. And so we had to file a report. And that's when I gave my new address, And that's the only time I've given my address. I haven't even changed my mailing address or anything, God,
you got to get a P.O. box, dude.
Oh, I definitely just did. It just got approved today. So yeah, we have a P.O. box now. So
yeah.
That's all we're going to be using, But I mean, the inner core, we already know the inner core, the main ones already have my address. They already know where we live. The only thing that I can do at this point is just fortify and just hope that my neighbors are vigilant and that we stay vigilant and it doesn't happen again,
So, okay, so here it is. Here's what
their fascism.
I'm going to turn you down.
Their evilness.
Yeah, this is from your stream, and I hope it's okay if I recorded it. Here's what happened. You had these people break a window Tell me what happened in your opinion.
So it was like 2:55 in the morning because I made the police call. I made the 911 call at like 2:57, and we were dead asleep. My wife had just fell asleep, just turned the TV off at like 1:30 in the morning, and we were dead asleep. And all of a sudden, I just heard a crash, boom, fireworks had been going off all night at that point, and I heard a crash, boom, and I jumped up. Like as soon as I heard the crash, I jumped up, and that's when the bear mace came in the window. Like I woke up basically on my feet, and the bear mace came through the window, and I seen the window was broken. So I went running out the front door and to see if I could see anybody out there, but of course they were already gone. And when we came back inside, that's when I really noticed the mace. It was like the mist was all over me from just being in there. And I seen the bed, and my wife was in the kitchen, like crying, saying, I can't see, I can't breathe. And my dog was barking. It was chaotic, At first we thought it was like they threw a brick or something through the window, but I think they hit it with something. Like they hit it with something because it broke both the windows. It put two little holes in the screen, and then they just stuck the front of the bear mace into the screen and just sprayed, and my wife wasn't able to get up as fast as I did, I reacted way faster, and she's the one, it got her mostly, she's the one that got the mace,
So they broke your window. They sprayed in a chemical. They obviously they were attacking you. You would have had every right to turn right around and shoot them out the window. That would have been a good shoot, by the way, that just to stop them. But the fact is that you called the cops, you made a report, and what did they say?
The cops were really, really they can't be proactive in a situation like this, but they were definitely active, and they were definitely on top of it, and they were like asking all the questions. They were taking it very, very seriously, which is good. And they seemed like my wife was trying. They took her outside to talk to her because the mace was so bad on our front porch that they had to take her outside to the street to talk to her, and for medical to deal with her. And even the cop was like having to stand far back away from her because she was coughing and stuff just from being around, like next to my wife. And she had already stripped off all of her clothes and put on different clothes and rinsed her face, and it was still that bad, and the cops they went to each of my neighbors asking for footage, they seem like they really want to figure out who did this.
Hope so. I mean, I hope so. Now, let me ask you about your other case, because this isn't the first time this has happened to you. Of course, you've been hit and you've been, attacked, you've been assaulted, etc.
Yeah, they popped 8 of our tires that night too. They popped. They popped 8 more of our tires with little pin pricks. I have video of all this. I have a lot of video that I haven't released from us talking to the cops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not releasing it yet until I get everything situated, but yeah, there's a lot more to come, and people think that we're lying, that we faked it, that we bear maced our own house, and it's just despicable. It's just despicable people,
So, okay. I know that you are always in harm's way, and I know that there are reasons why you can't carry a weapon. Obviously, there's, and was that because of them as well? Because that's sort of
no. I have a past. I can't have my Second Amendment because I'm a felon from when I was young. But I'm definitely getting a repeater crossbow. It's already on its way, and I can legally have that. And it's a 50-pound test. So yeah, next time I'm going to be prepared.
Well, wow. Okay, that sounds wild.
It's better than me it's better than me, illegally having to have a firearm.
Oh, of course.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, you don't
So I'm
want
going to do it the legal way, and it's just what it is.
So here we are. This is not the first time that you have been attacked in public where people know about it, like me. Where I mean, and I've been writing the DA, the Multnomah County DA's office, to find out if they have done anything about the last
The BB gun.
the
Yeah,
the
no,
BB gun
I
attack.
haven't heard anything about that.
You know, they're keeping it on the down low.
Yeah.
They do not, they're trying to rehabilitate that chick who, but if for those of you who did not see that, and I can't show it because I'll get demonetized, not that there's much there anyway, but demonetized by YouTube and, given a strike and all that stuff. I don't know if you've ever gotten a strike for having shown your own assault, but it's just bizarre. Anyway, and it's the truth. It seems to me like that would matter, but it doesn't to YouTube. Nonetheless, then the long and short of it was those guys were out close to the ICE facility. You can't go to the ICE facility because you've been banished, but not Antifa.
No.
So that's interesting in and of itself, because Tommy Boy's loud. He says impertinent things, and I don't even know what else to say, except when you guys are standing on the street near the ICE facility, and you're making noise. Okay, you're making noise, and there's some chick has already checked you out. She's driven by. She's gotten out and she's given you, like, you're terrible people. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And then what happens? She comes back and she brings a gun and pulls a drive-by.
Yeah. It could have easily been a real gun. I would have been dead because it hit me in the cheek. It would have, yeah. It was scary. And it seems like they're not taking it serious at all.
No, I mean, I kind of feel like that here. And so anyway, in my efforts to get in touch with the DA's office in Multnomah County, we haven't taken it to the grand jury yet, because that's how they do things in the state of Oregon. They have grand juries and they can manipulate them so well. But if they can manipulate it to the extent that they don't bring stuff to the grand jury, we're sort of waiting so she can rehabilitate herself. She just completely cleaned out her social media. What's her name again?
Isis Irving.
Isis Irving. Yeah, I don't have it on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever forget that. That lady went crazy. That wasn't the first assault she did that night either, by any means.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she attacked Shane, smacked his phone out of his hand, and her friend tried to steal his phone all before she came back and shot me with the BB gun. It happened all before that.
If this had been done by you or anyone else in your crew, you would have been
in prison.
You would have been in prison right now. You would have been in prison.
That's Measure 11 type shit, Yeah,
it's terrible. Just of course,
Measure 11 in Oregon,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, sort of enhanced. Well, where do you go from here?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't had an appetite in 2 days, and that's not me. Like, I like to eat. Like, I haven't had an appetite. I haven't eaten really in 2 or 3 days. Like, I don't have the energy. There's a Christian event tomorrow at Pioneer Square tomorrow and the 11th, and I'm going to go to both of those and get my funk back, because I got to get out of this feeling of not knowing what to do, of not having energy to do anything, Yeah, so I just got to get back out and start doing stuff again.
Yeah, well, just do it just to make them mad.
Yeah. At this point, I mean, everything I do makes them mad. So anything that I do is going to make these people mad at this point, Yeah. So it doesn't really matter what I do. But there's just a lot going on, and my wife's dad is in the hospital, and he's not doing good at all. It's just getting worse and worse. And he's been in the hospital since the second day we moved into the new place. And so it's just been a lot to deal with all at once, And now my wife's scared to sleep in her own house. She's nervous, and she has every right to be, She wakes up the last 2 days. She's woken up at like 3:30 in the morning and not been able to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up. It's heartbreaking.
Sure, it's wrong. They want to terrorize you. You know, if this is a domestic terror organization.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is domestic terrorism. They targeted our home.
Sure, they
you know, and they keep targeting our home. And they do it to me because I'm the loudest one. It's because I go out there and I bring people together to go out there. I don't just go by myself, you know, and they hate that. They're trying to shut that down. And I'm never gonna stop, you know. I'm not gonna stop. They're not gonna scare me out of doing what I believe in. They're not gonna scare me out of advocating for ICE and advocating for a safe country, you know.
This gal says, my 5-year-old daughter knows who you are and loves you too. She mimics you and your phrases. It's hilarious. You are funny. I mean, honestly, you are funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a lot of amazing supporters. I got a really tight-knit group of supporters that are pretty freaking amazing, you know.
Yeah.
And especially for my wife. Everybody loves my wife so much, and that's who needs it the most right now. Is all the kind words and prayers is my wife, and you know. And I can't thank them enough for that.
They're going to need you alive, though.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I need me alive, you know.
Jordan has been, I mean, he's been a listener on the radio and, you know, since I've been on radio and now podcasting as well. And so I didn't realize he was a juvenile parole officer for the state of Oregon and understand Measure 11. Unfortunately, youth who commit crimes will have their records against them for most of their lives. Yeah, well, that's pretty, yeah. Oh, and of course, everybody's making fun of my age, Tommy. Victoria was alive when the continents drifted apart. So is the man. I am the adult in the room for Pete's sake.
People can be brutal, but we love the chats.
I've been
told
worse.
Brutal. You know who hates my chat is Climatics. Climatics hates my chat. Well, he hates some of the people in my chat. But it's all in good fun, you know.
It can be brutal, though. I understand.
Definitely.
Yeah, usually I've gotten hate mail for the entirety of my career, so it's not like it's just.
It means you're making a difference. It means you're reaching people, because if you don't have haters, then you're not making a difference, obviously.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you know, there's nothing shaking my head. Age is just a number.
Yeah, it is.
We know.
It's what you do.
You know, it's so funny. I have to say, you know, there are times when I just go, you know, you really are. You're getting up there, girl. I mean, I can't believe but I've got so much energy. I just want to just keep going and talking, and you know, I'll be on the radio. Yeah,
you're young on the inside.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all that matters, you know.
Thank you, Funky. Appreciate you subscribing. Okay,
she does have a radio voice.
Yeah,
my chat likes you.
That's well. You know, I'm a pretty likable individual.
Definitely.
Call balls and strikes.
I knew that from the first time we talked. I was like, okay, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. I'm pretty. You know, you're a young hip guy. I'm an old stodgy lady, and it's fine. We seem to get along. I feel
like I'm not so young, especially the last few days.
You know, it's kind of funny this way we can talk. I've had lots of young people on my stream and that sort of thing. Interviewed a lot of people, etc. And there's this thing. If we can have rapport if we believe in the United States, and if I don't think Donald Trump is a creep. And I think we can at least give him the benefit of the doubt, even if he does things that we don't agree with. And these are things upon which we can agree. And the most important one of all is the Bill of Rights and the fact that you have every right, Tommy, to do exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. Without they have violence coming on us. That's, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. They won't shut us down. They're trying, but they won't. You know?
Yeah. Hey, I like Victoria's vibe, says K-Bick. I'd like to see her on Town Hall Tuesday and get to know her better. Wow.
Oh, yeah. You should come on our show on Tuesday around 5, on one of these Tuesdays around 5 o'clock.
I will.
We can talk. Yeah. You can meet Climatics.
Oh, that'd be awesome. As an Oregonian, I feel completely unsafe. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Elon was right about Trump being in the Epstein files. Well, he was. And we've looked at the Epstein files. Have you? And you know why he was in there? Because Epstein had some bad juju on him. And they were actually, and when I say that, he had bad vibes about him, bad feelings about him. And there were different emails. And there were emails that Jeff Epstein sent to other people that mentioned him. There was one mentioned by Trump. And then, anyway, it is the silliness of that. I usually
not a shred of evidence of anything sexual by Trump.
No, I
not
know.
a single shred. And these people he's in the Epstein. Tons of people are in the Epstein files for the most. He's in there for turning Epstein in, kicking him out of Mar-a-Lago. All these things. These people are just Trump deranged.
It is true. Here's another one. Not even Trump's Supreme Court can save him from being held liable for sexually assaulting E. Jean Carroll. The Supreme Court wasn't doing that. The Supreme Court was to rule on the $5 million fine, and they said no, we're going to take a pass on that. And by the way, that was he was not found guilty of assaulting her at all. In fact,
never been found guilty of anything like that.
No. Bad juju.
There's no evidence. The evidence procedures in civil court are way different than criminal court. You don't need physical evidence in civil court. It's just, it's ridiculous.
Oh, the whole thing was a put-up job, and it was all paid for. It was all paid for by Reid Hoffman, the billionaire leftist founder of LinkedIn. So that was a Trump lawfare situation. So anyway, lots of fun talking with you, Tommy. I appreciate it. And I'm supposed to, J. Michael Waller's supposed to be here. I don't know where he went. So,
well, everybody from my chat, go follow Victoria. Let's get her to 2,000 today. Let's try to get her to 2,000s.
Thank you. That'd be nice.
Sure.
We love. Yeah, thank you. I do actually. I'm going to tell you this. It's as my daughter tells me, it's a high barrier to, and your show is a high barrier to entry, which is to say, I assume you know a lot. And so every listener and viewer and stuff like that. But if you want to learn something, you'll learn something. And it's just because I've been in the radio news business for decades. I mean, a long ass time. And I have learned a lot, and I can speak to a lot of things. I've been a reporter and for years, anchor and all that stuff. And I still fill in on the radio now. So it's
you have a radio voice. That's what my child was saying too.
Oh yeah, I've been on radio for a long time. So anyway, I appreciate you being here, and I want people to thank you. I want people to stick around because I want them to appreciate my next guest, J. Michael Waller. He's the author of a book, and it's called Big Intel. How the CIA and FBI went from Cold War heroes to deep state villains. Worth a listen as well. Tommy, thanks again. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. I'll see you soon.
Okay. I'll be there Tuesday night maybe, huh?
Yeah, for sure. I'll message you. I'll message Climatics and see if anybody's already coming on, and then I'll message you.
Okay, thanks again. Appreciate it. Bye. Ooh, sorry, I just cut him off. Sorry, Tommy. Didn't mean to cut you off. Well, we talked about what we've got going on the program today, and a lot of things have all tied into one thing or another, having to do with the left, from Graham Plattner to what just happened to Tommy Boy to what has happened in the news we're going to follow on the issue of the Tyler Robinson trial in Utah, because he is the person who is accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk. And what we found out in court today was a big court day today. All of these have to do with the sort of nihilist backgrounds, the belief systems of people who are way over on the left. And those people who are on the chat right now who know Tommy and have seen what Antifa has done, the same thing. It's the same kind of mindset. And it's an important thing to pay attention to. J. Michael Waller, thank you so much for coming back on the Adult in the Room podcast. How are you?
Doing great, Victoria. It's good to be back with you.
I'm so glad to have you. I understand you've got your new house going. I'm kind of excited for you. And Michael's also with the Center for Security Policy. And I wanted to just ask you a number of things. I gave you like a laundry list of things I wanted to talk about today. But
I couldn't keep track of the list.
I know. I know it was. But I guess maybe what we should start with is sort of the amplification of this sort of communist atheism and all that jazz in the person of Graham Plattner. He's the DSA's. The DSA's taken over the Democrats.
Yeah, and the Democrats let it happen. That's the worst part. It's like revolutionaries are supposed to infiltrate and take over organizations and parties and take the more mainstream ones and radicalize them. This has been going on for decades, but it was allowed to happen. So the highest elected official in the party, Chuck Schumer, allowed it to happen. He backed those DSA candidates when they ran for Congress. It didn't oppose them, didn't say the party can't have these people. He allowed it, and so did everybody else in the party, including the donors. So good.
Now he's gone, and what do we make of the fact that the Democrats were so willing to give this guy a pass? It's embodied in this soundbite that we hear. It's a compilation. It's one of Tom S. Elliott's super
hiring a senator. We're going to talk about fucking tattoos and sexting. He gets a hall pass.
I don't give a fuck if somebody had a toxic relationship. Toxic relationships and tattoos and all of this shit. Talk about Susan Collins.
He could be 100 times more fucked up than he is. He'd never be as fucked up as what we got in Washington now anyway.
God, these guys are potty mouths.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got 5 more minutes of that. Okay.
Great. Don't need to open the lid of the toilet to know what's in it.
I apologize because I know you have like a
legit
the last
job. Guy there, he's the moderate of the group.
I know. Isn't that shocking? It is shocking. I just wanted to find out to what extent do we need to worry about this whole communist wave that appears to be going on over the body politic in the United States right now.
We really need to worry about it. These are cadres that have been built for decades. No one's been monitoring them. Just a few private citizens have. They have ample funding. They have become mainstream, or they are mainstreaming themselves. A lot of them are popular characters. They've got a large following around the country, and it's multi-generational, but a lot of younger people follow them, want to uplift them. Yeah. And so now that you have it was already bad enough when the 60s radicals had infiltrated these entities. Now the 60s radicals are in their 70s and 80s. So they've got the new ones who make the 60s ones look moderate taking over. So you see the party moving further and further and further to the left. And with that goes the media and culture and the permanent government institutions.
And there's a permission structure that's going on here, right? Because of the leadership of the Democrats and the sort of normalizing of this whole radical viewpoint that we see, people are saying, well, it's okay. I mean, the Graham Plattners of the world, the guy was a person who trained Antifa, for crying out loud. In addition to the fact that he's a damn communist and doesn't like America, and he has allegedly has PTSD. He's a guy who, it's okay. So he's got a Nazi tattoo, youthful indiscretion. What's the big deal? How...
Can you imagine we've gotten to the point where a U.S. Senate candidate for the Democrat Party it's not just a Nazi tattoo. It's a huge Waffen-SS death's head tattoo.
Yeah.
The guys who ran the death camps tattoo. And it's a big one. Now, if you're running for office, you can have it removed, or you can say, hey, that was a youthful indiscretion. He's not doing that. He's keeping it. But the Dems are fine with it.
They are fine with it. Here's, Scott Jennings just nailed it the other day. Because he called them out on their hypocrisy. You've probably seen this. I just wanted to let people see this as well. And the hypocrisy involved
is when she said that he hadn't been vetted. No, he had been vetted. All of the things that have been stated, it was all out in the public. And people like Ro Khanna, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Tim Walz, the Bulwark, Pod Save America, all these people came together to overlook it all, to explain it all, to rationalize it all. He was vetted. People knew all these things. And a whole bunch of Democrats in Maine showed up and voted for him anyway. And a bunch of donors from around the country sent him money anyway. I agree with Alyssa's question. What changed? Why are you bailing on Graham Plattner now? You already signed off on Nazi tattoo, a self-described communist, somebody who's had rape fantasies, somebody who has been on a social media platform known as a playground for predators, and on and on and on and on and on. And the difference between this accuser and the previous one is simply this. She's a liberal. It's okay, I guess, for Democrats that their candidates assault conservatives. But he broke into someone's house and apparently, according to her, raped her. And because her politics are correct, they can now believe it.
How you, in your book, Big Intel, you go over the history of all of this. And so people who don't know the history need to read this book. I have it on audiobook, or I'd pick it up and show it to everybody. I'm just going to get it. I'm just going to get the hardcover and then just be able to show it to you on my little deal here. I finally took your advice and got this one.
Oh, good. Yeah. It's a fine book.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's in this book as well as what's happened to our intel communities recently. People are getting hopeless about them. Actually, they don't trust them anymore. And a lot of people who are patriots, who are people like me, who they have certain beliefs and have just had friends or acquaintances be put into prison. And you know what I mean? I mean, I'm talking to J6 particularly. You were a person who saw J6, as a matter of fact. But now we find out about what our intelligence agencies have done to us and what our the mechanism of justice has done to people of a particular persuasion. Can you talk to me a little bit about the hearings recently about maybe MK Ultra, and did you watch any of those speeches and that sort of thing? I watched a little bit of it, but I noticed that a lot of the lawmakers didn't bother to attend. What the hell happened there?
Well, normally most lawmakers don't attend hearings unless it's some big media thing where they have to be seen. But in this case, MK Ultra was a CIA program begun in the 50s in response to communist development of mind control. So this brainwashing of our POWs in Korea, communist Chinese brainwashing and so forth. So what the CIA did, and this is where you have a good idea go really, really bad, really, really fast. What the CIA thought was, we need to understand this, how it works, how the communists do it, and then how we can defend against it and counter it.
Yeah.
So it was a defensive program. And then all of a sudden someone had the idea, let's make it an offensive program too.
Yeah.
Well, if you're using it against a foreign enemy, a communist enemy, I don't have a problem with it. Mind control, control their behavior and their attitudes. I don't have a problem with it if it's a foreign enemy. But when you're using American citizens as guinea pigs against their will or against their knowledge, and you're doing it for years with no accountability, that becomes a threat to all of us. And this is where the MK Ultra program went bad. And then in the early 70s, when it was being exposed, of course, the CIA then destroyed all of the information it could about it. So we really don't know the extent of the program and what happened to the program. So now, more than half a century later, we're looking at it again.
The who were rumored to be part of the MK Ultra, or who were experimented on in MK Ultra, wasn't the Unabomber? Remember that?
There's. I'm really cautious about it because there are little bits of either information that really sounds good and might be true, but there's insufficient evidence for it.
I see.
And then we end up discrediting ourselves or discrediting those around us by raising issues when we're jumping to conclusions. And that's what I think that the Congresswoman Ana Luna, I think she had her intent is right, but to not do a serious investigation, and then to have some, Stephen Kinzer, who was a left-wing New York Times guy, as a key Republican witness, I don't think it's sufficient. I think you need new, original information, and that's probably why there was so little interest in the hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a little bit of it. Your number one person in this particular hearing is a reporter. Really? I mean, I just thought, don't we want somebody from that era of the CIA? I mean, somebody who could provide us a little contemporaneous information about it.
Yeah.
And I've seen Anna Paulina Luna do her thing in the Epstein depositions and such that we go over. We've gone over multiple of the Epstein depositions from the Oversight Committee, and I got to tell you, I'm not terribly impressed with her. I mean, not at all. No. And I thought, oh, geez. So.
There's really room for serious work, and what these kind of sensationalist hearings do, they're really shallow. They're just for headlines and clicks, and they really undermine serious work that serious people are trying to do to get the truth to light, and not just get everybody all whipped up about something.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm kind of dispirited right now, actually. I'm more concerned about I'm concerned about the intel community. I'm concerned about I've spoken about the differences and the changes that they've been made in the ODNI as well as the CIA. No changes in the CIA, because CIA, I don't care if you call it the DNI in charge of CIA, I don't think that's true. Is that not true? That's not true, right?
It depends on who you ask. So
really,
bureaucratically and legally, the Director of National Intelligence and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, ODNI, manages all 17 plus intelligence services, of which the CIA is one. But try to tell that to the CIA.
Right.
So one of the ways that the CIA maintains its own bureaucratic turf is you don't have a lot of ODNI employees. They're detailed from other agencies, meaning they're transferred from their agency. They remain on the payroll of their home agency. Oh. So you have the ODNI then detailing people over from the CIA at their same grade scale, but they're working for the Director of National Intelligence.
How did I not know that? I did not know that.
Yeah. And then ultimately, they know they'll go back to the CIA. This is the same in Congress, if you can believe it. The House and Senate intelligence committees that have oversight of the CIA detail people from the CIA to staff Congress to oversee themselves back at CIA.
Oh, God.
Kind of handy.
Wow.
So we wonder why we don't know what we don't know.
Here's a recent post.
You've got executive branch, secret intelligence employees staffing the legislative branch to oversee the executive branch secret intelligence services.
It's not like what's the excuse for that?
Pretty lame excuses. The excuses are, well, it saves money because Congress doesn't have to pay that staffer. Since when have they cared about saving money, first of all?
Right?
Second of all, you don't have a lot of super quality investigative staff with the necessary clearances because congressional pay is so relatively low. It's, you lose those staff and then they go into lobbying or private industry or government contracting or something. So you lose them. So well, why not just bring in the guys who know how the CIA works and, not former CIA people who can be hired as contractors, but current. So this is a common thing. So this is one way the CIA is able to defend its interests and even undermine the mission of the ODNI is by staffing ODNI with its own payrolled employees.
Yeah, well, a lot
that
of
cheered you up. You need a cheer today.
I know. A friend of mine just, he got attacked in his home by Antifa, and now I'm finding out that, probably nobody's going to help him. And I feel like we're sort of alone. Let's look at one of your recent pieces there. You wrote this for American Greatness, and it's also included over at your Center for Security Policy reports and your writings over there. You are a fellow over there, and what did you want to talk about with respect to tools and dupes? George Washington warned about foreign subversion. This goes exactly to the point we've been talking about with what's going on in the United States and how we're being overrun, if you will, by communism. Talk to me about this.
This is the most dangerous threat we face as a country. It's not China by virtue of its military or Russia by virtue of its military. Or terrorists for that matter. It's subversion. We don't have defenses against it. We never have, except patriotism.
Yeah.
But with a loss of patriotism, you're going to have more Americans selling out to foreign powers. But as that article shows, this is nothing new. I mean, Washington faced his Benedict Arnold.
Right.
If you think about it, Benedict Arnold was one of the finest, most courageous generals in the Continental Army for the fight for American freedom. Then he flipped and went traitor. Mm-hmm. So what Washington, we all think, if we think at all of Washington's farewell address when he left public life, we remember his warning against entangling alliances. Like, no entangling alliances. We can't have that. But that was just something in passing. He spent more effort explaining the threat of foreign subversion and what that means, because once Americans become subverted to foreign powers and they transfer their sympathies and loyalties to foreign powers, that's the end of our country.
You call them influence campaigns. You say, of course, are normal and coherent element of any rational statesmanship to wage conflict over war. Countries are foolish not to conduct them, but countries are equally foolish not to defend against them. This is what's going on right now.
Right. I mean, countries do this, large and small. They run influence operations against us. They infiltrate us.
Yeah.
Even Ghana infiltrated the CIA, for crying out loud. I mean, please, right? So you've got Ghana. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
I can't even say it with a straight face.
What did they do? How did they do that?
They recruited a CIA officer, so they penetrated the CIA.
God.
So you know what? Good for Ghana. Foreign country, every country is supposed to look out for its own interests, but shame on us for having a situation in which our personnel would be that weak or that disloyal to do that. Thankfully, we had counterintelligence that busted that up, which is how we know. But we have to expect any other country in the world to look after its sovereign interests. That's reasonable. At the same time, we have to expect our own government to look after our foreign interests, which means to defend our country against foreign powers that seek to infiltrate us and subvert us.
I see a thread going through our conversations today that I'm having on this live stream. We've got a guy who was attacked by Antifa. It's a communist organization. We have Graham Plattner, a communist, running just a nihilist and a communist. We've got you writing about the communist as a huge threat. We've got the Tyler Robinson case. This is an Antifa adjacent guy. He is accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk. We have people who are willing to do violence in the name of their beliefs in furtherance of destroying America. And that's not even, and of course we saw some incidents out of Iran over the weekend at the Ayatollah's funeral. We have Americans over there calling for the usurpation and the takeover of the United States. It's just shocking, actually.
Yeah. And these aren't just extreme isolated cases. If you had some lunatic from Maine running for Senate, okay, he's a lunatic from Maine running for Senate. But when he's being backed by sitting U.S. senators and by the National Party apparatus, was vetted by them, and they said, you're a communist, but you're okay. It's just don't rape Democrat women.
Yeah,
that's what it's boiled down to.
That did.
But so you have this vetting over and over and over, whether it's AOC, whether it's Ilhan Omar, whether it's any of these people who hate our country, hate our Constitution. They want to overthrow our Constitution. Yet that's fine with the Democrat Party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is pretty shocking.
And frankly, it's fine with a lot of Republicans too.
And it is why, because it just makes our viewpoint that much more crystal clear, or what?
No, a lot of Republicans don't want to say anything about this because, well, these are mostly minority people. I don't want to be perceived as being a racist or, that same nonsense. They're just weaklings and they've gone along with this forever. Even back in the 80s when I first started tracking these networks, there was a lot of Republican opposition to tracking these communist networks as they were further embedding themselves in our system. And the people from then, they were in college back then. They're in their late 50s and retirement age now, early 60s, even older. So they could have been tracked. The networks could have been tracked. The foreigners involved could have been deported, but they were not. Now they're American citizens.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's a problem. What do you call it when you're able to take away their citizenship? What is that? There's
denaturalization.
Denaturalization. It's time to I mean, I believe that Ilhan Omar is just a boil on the butt of America and should be deported.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's not helpful.
No.
She's
she
a
came
taker,
here
not a maker.
as a child. So she's saying that's her defense, or her defenders are saying that. But really, she came here under false pretenses, under the guardianship of her father.
Yep.
Who came here under false pretenses. So it doesn't matter. She, if it had not been for her father being here illegally, she wouldn't be here at all.
Yeah.
Or he came legally, but I mean under false pretenses. He was an employee. He worked as a teacher propagandist at the youth level for the Mengistu regime. And if you look at that regime, he combines Islamism with Mussolini fascism with communism to get his ideology. That's what the Ilhan Omar's family was pushing as part of their livelihood back in Somalia before that regime was overthrown. Then they came here.
Why do we let people like that in our country when you know that they're completely off the rails? How?
We celebrate diversity, Victoria.
And you know what's really annoying? That whole Mogadishu to Michigan pipeline started after Black Hawk Down. How incredibly insulting was that?
Yeah.
I mean, who thought that was who thought it would be a good time to let in a bunch of Somalis who were ruled at that point, at least, and during the Black Hawk Down incident, by a sect of Al Qaeda? Who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah. And then the chain migration that comes with it. And it wasn't even Muslim radicals who brought them here. It was Lutheran charitable groups.
NGOs.
Yeah, NGOs.
A problem. They may call themselves Christian, and that's fine. But
yeah,
I mean,
and they
this
helped
is not a
colonize
Christian-
Maine too. So look what we get for a Senate candidate.
Oh my, yeah, exactly. I know. Thank you so much, J. Michael Waller. Thank you. I appreciate it. The book is a must read. It's big intel. How CIA and FBI went from Cold War heroes to deep state villains. It is worth your time. It's a wonderful, not only is it a good read, it's a great reference book to have around. And I appreciate you coming on and just giving us some time today. And all
time
my
goes fast on your show, I got to tell you.
I kept it going. I honestly, I feel like I had so many different things to talk about. And so I appreciate you being willing to just take them as they come, because you're just a pro. That's who you are. Thank you.
Thank you. It's great to see you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hope we can do it again very soon. That's okay. We do have some really wild stuff that came out of the trial of Tyler Robinson today. It's still going on. It's not a trial per se. It's a preliminary hearing. Let me just be clear about that. Preliminary hearing. We finally got a look at Tyler Robinson's gay/trans lover. His name's Lance Twiggs. And this has been information that has been withheld. The likes of the Candace Owens of the world have decided that because she hasn't personally seen Lance Twiggs in interviews with the police, that no interviews had been done. She actually literally went on a podcast and said this. Let me just bring that up just for a second. I just want to give you a little taste of how woo this has gotten. And here she is on the Sean Ryan podcast. He's got a great podcast going. I mean, it's just great. I love it when he does interview some guys that have been in the military. I appreciate the oral history of all that. Listen to her talk about the fact that Tyler Robinson's boyfriend, Lance Twiggs, was never interviewed.
And the roof and was like, look up here. Somebody just got up there. I spoke to that individual. And he never saw a shot fired. Never said that he saw a shot fired. Knows about weapons. And finds it really unusual that the prosecution hasn't reached out to him. So I don't know what happened. I just know what didn't happen. And I feel confident stating that Tyler Robinson did not murder Charlie Kirk, whether or not he was an accessory to the crime.
Has anyone actually made it?
And there we go for a commercial. I love it when they do that. When why do I even do that? I mean, I just need to just grab it and just hope that whatever. Anyway, so she's gone on record as saying that Tyler Robinson wasn't on the campus, never visited the campus, that he did not shoot Charlie Kirk, that he didn't, his boyfriend wasn't downloaded his information, not interviewed, not interrogated. She's on record as saying a whole heck of a lot of crazy stuff about this case. And it really resides solely with the fact that she wasn't brought into the inner circle, and therefore she didn't have that information. And then what she did was make the rest up in her head. Okay. But today we have interviews with, she also said he didn't turn himself in. Here is Tyler Robinson, a video of Tyler Robinson turning himself in. Here we go. He's at the cop shop. And nothing big about this, but she's never seen the video proof that he actually turned himself in. And today we saw the video, not only that, I mean, that was from yesterday, but I mean, the video proof that there were notes and discussions that show that they had text messages. A note was left admitting to the crime, and text messages admitting to the crime, where Tyler Robinson admits to his boyfriend, roommate / tranny dude that he had done it. So let's go over some of the evidence that was presented in the preliminary hearing today about this, because it's important. Let's watch.
And why? Well, let me ask you this.
Well, this is from yesterday.
You believe
so
this
sorry.
is Mr. Robinson returning to campus?
I do, yes.
Okay. And why do you believe it's Mr. Robinson?
The shoes are the same, and the images that we have are from my viewing and seeing Mr. Robinson on the video. It's the same person.
Okay, this is from yesterday, and this identifies Tyler Robinson as having been on campus at UVU the day of and the night of the assassination. And that is a video of him walking with the rifle in his pants, as the authorities believe happened. And the reason I bring it up is because Candace Owens said that didn't happen either. Here's the interview that she said also did not happen. This is Lance Twiggs. We finally got to see this. This was battled out in court yesterday. They didn't want us to see anything having to do with the interview.
Meeting.
And here's this interview.
To use your statement here instead of your testimony at a preliminary hearing. You understand that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so in order to do that, I need to place you under oath and also give you an admonition about false statements, okay? First, you do solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you shall give in this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
I also need to notify you that you are notified that statements you are about to make may be presented to a magistrate or a judge in lieu of your sworn testimony at a preliminary examination. Any false statement you make and that you do not believe to be true may subject you to criminal punishment as a Class A misdemeanor. You understand that?
Yes.
It potentially could be used as for punishment as a higher offense as obstruction of justice. In addition, I just want to make sure that our recording here is clear that you've also been given a federal agreement and a state agreement granting you immunity from prosecution for materials that you discuss now. Do you understand that? Mm-hmm. Okay. First, we're going to cover some of the things that you've already talked about, but to make it as part of this record. First, what's your name?
Full name with middle name or just first and last?
First and last is fine.
Okay, my name is Lance Twiggs.
And do you know Tyler Robinson?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
And this is the same Tyler Robinson that's been charged with the shooting of Charlie Kirk?
Yes.
And would you say when you first met Tyler?
I think it was 2023. I've known him longer than that, though. That was, I think, the first time I met him in person.
Okay. And will you describe your relationship with Tyler when you first met him anyway?
When I first met him, I didn't know him super well. He was just a new roommate, so I knew he knew my friend group, and I knew he liked playing games, but that's about it when we first, when he first moved in.
Okay. Before we go on, I realized my mic was muted at the outset. Was yours on, your microphone? Okay. I'm going to repeat those admonitions just to make sure we got it recorded. Okay,
So this is important. I just left this in. I could have taken it out. But I left it in because this has been a bone of contention in the following this case. And the fact that they did speak with the Tyler Robinson boyfriend / roommate, the trans guy, Lance Twiggs, twice. And that's just what's happened. And so, sorry, I just had a notification that we're stopping our bombing of Iraq or Iran again. Oh, geez, it would just, come on, just be done with it. Anyway. Sorry, guys. But anyway, so this has been an important thing because this is something that many people have said, it's disproved, you know, can't do it. But now we're seeing it in court. The defense has also asked that it be not allowed to be entered into evidence because it makes their client look guilty. Yeah, because, it does. Yeah, dillweed. Of course it does. But, whatever works. Oh, they did say it was 14th Amendment protections as well. We do appreciate that. Come on. Let's go.
Obstruction of justice. In addition, I just want to make sure that our recording here is clear that you've also been given a federal agreement and a state agreement granting you immunity from prosecution for materials that you discuss now. Do you understand that? Mm-hmm. Okay. First, we're going to cover some of the things that you've already talked about, but to make it as part of this record. First, what's your name?
Full name with middle name or just first and last?
First and last is fine.
Okay, my name is Lance Twiggs.
And do you know Tyler Robinson?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
And this is the same Tyler Robinson that's been charged with the shooting of Charlie Kirk?
Yes.
And would you say when you first met Tyler?
I think it was 2023. I've known him longer than that, though. That was, I think, the first time I met him in person.
Okay. And will you describe your relationship with Tyler when you first met him anyway?
When I first met him, I didn't know him super well. He was just a new roommate, so I knew he knew my friend group, and I knew he liked playing games, but that's about it when we first, when he first moved in.
Okay. Before we go on, I realized my mic was muted at the outset. Was yours on, your microphone? Okay. I'm going to repeat those admonitions just to make sure.
This is all done in front of the police.
So, again, I place you under oath. Just to make a record, I'm going to do it again. You do solemnly swear that the evidence you shall give in this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
And again, I'm going to give you the false statement admonition.
Sorry, hold on. They're saying that it's echoing, so I
think this one's mic is on.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, you know I'll mute my mic, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so we should be good. All right. Is that mic off?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, okay, sorry about that interruption. All right, so you said when you first met you were roommates?
Yeah.
Okay. And then at some point, your relationship progressed to something more than just roommates, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
When was that?
I think we started dating 2 or 3 months after he moved in.
Okay. And where did you live at that time?
St. George, in an apartment complex.
And is that apartment the same place you lived when on September 10th?
Yes.
When you lived there with Tyler, were you in the same room? Did you live in the same room or different rooms?
Separate rooms.
And at that time, let's say September of 2025, what were you doing with your life? Were you working, school?
I was working. I was doing like bathtub and shower repair and stuff in new construction.
Okay. How about Tyler?
I think he was both working. I think he was working for an electrician company then, and he was also in a trade school for being I don't know, higher ranking electrician. I'm not sure how the trade system works for that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he was both.
What was his typical work day like?
I think he'd leave around 7 generally and get back around 3 to 4, depending on where the job was and how long it was for the day. And then on certain days of the week during school, semesters, he would then later in the day, I think around 5 or 6, go to school. So, yeah.
Okay. Let's jump to September 10th. Did he spend the night in the apartment the night of September 9th into September 10th?
Yeah, he did. Yes.
Do you know when he left the apartment on September 10th?
I don't know an exact time. I just know he left early. I heard him leaving, and he just said he had a long drive to work that day, so he was leaving early.
Okay, so early. Any guess as to what when that was?
I don't know. I would have thought it was 5 a.m. because that's when an early work day was for him, but it was probably more like 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna have him spit out his gum just to make sure that
I can do that.
You mind? I think you're right in front of your laptop.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Oh, God. He was chewing gum? Oh, man.
Thank you.
I mean, I chew gum too, but not in front of the cops
Right,
when
so
you're
what
having
time did
a
you get up on September 10th?
testimony recorded.
Probably
No.
12 to 1 p.m.
You didn't have to work that day?
No.
And did you hear from Tyler? Did he call or text you before then?
No, he sent that message in the group chat I mentioned, but he didn't message me directly at all that day.
Okay. When did you first hear from him on September 10th?
It was at 11 o'clock with that, automated message.
Okay, 11 p.m.?
Yeah.
What about, he asks you here, remember how I was engraving bullets? Was he engraving bullets before this?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when, but he had said he was planning to go hunting with his family, and he asked me for if we had a Dremel because he said he wanted to engrave messages on bullets, and I just told him where our Dremel was and told him to make sure he doesn't set off a bullet on accident in the house, but I didn't really think about it until then.
So they were looking at certain things on the screen between the two. I don't know why this was not in person, but it just wasn't. And so that's why it's blacked out, because it's not allowed to be shown in court. That was an agreement made between all parties, and let's continue. Oh, for crying out loud, it just started over again. I got it.
But he had said he was planning to go hunting with his family, and he asked me for if we had a Dremel because he said he wanted to engrave messages on bullets, and I just told him where our Dremel was and I told him to make sure he doesn't like set off a bullet on accident in the house. But I didn't really think about it until then.
How long before September 10th was this that he asked about the Dremel?
I don't remember. 'Cause
He asked
we've
for the
been talking
Dremel
about the,
to write
hunting
messages
slash camping trip
on the
for
bullets.
a couple months. But I don't remember when he was specifically asking to engrave the bullets. So
are we talking like a year before?
Oh no, not that long. It would have been, I'd say at most a month before this was when he was asking.
Okay. Okay. All right. You talked about the note that he left. I want to bring this up, and I should say that these text messages that we've been looking at here are Bates number 54. Okay, the notes have been titled 16.3 with a note, and this is Bates number 58. Do you recognize that on the screen there?
Yeah.
What do you recognize it as?
That was the note under his keyboard that he was referring to in the first text of that chain.
Okay, so where did you find this?
On his desk underneath his computer keyboard.
And I assume you read it.
Yeah.
And then what did you do with it after you read it?
I believe I just put it back down on the desk after I took a picture of it.
Okay. And again, the time you read it was probably around 11 o'clock or so on the 10th.
Yes.
The night of September 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And did you ever see that again after you placed it back on his desk?
No, I don't think I did.
And that was a desk in his bedroom?
Yes.
And that's a separate bedroom than your bedroom?
Yeah.
And now I want to go to what's been titled 16.2. And do you recognize this series of messages here?
Yeah, that was the server, like his friend that I was mentioning.
Okay, and this is your phone again?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you recognize it because the big crack up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a server. Is this Discord?
Yeah, this is Discord.
And who are members of this server? I don't want names, just generally. Who are these people?
This is his friend group. They played D&D together every week.
Okay. And I just want to scroll through this to make sure that you get a chance to take a look at it. Go to the next page.
Mm-hmm. Or yes.
So, Tyler Icom, who's that?
That's Tyler Robinson.
And these other people are just others that are members of the server?
Yes.
Jug, Barnaby, Marina, DM.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, DM means Dungeon Master. So this is these are like, most of them are names they're using in the game they're playing currently.
Got it. Yeah, it looks like the last text from Tyler, looks like it's 8 p.m. And do you know what day this would have been, 8 p.m. on the 10th or the 11th?
I would think that would be the 11th. Because at least I think so, because I don't think on the 10th that he messaged anyone before me at like 11. So.
And he turned himself in on the 11th, right?
I thought so, yeah.
Again, we're just going to go through this so that we have a record of the messages.
This is going to be a redacted part. Like I say, they
Is that an accurate recording of that thread?
To my knowledge, yes.
And that was sent, looks like between September 10th and September 12th. Looks like the last day on this is September 12th. Screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so again, those messages covered from September 10th to the evening of September 11th. Now, September 11th, what time did you see Tyler on September 11th?
Yes.
When did you first see him on September 11th? So this is the day after the shooting.
Yeah, I saw him when I woke up. Like I said, he was up and around doing a lot of stuff around the house. And then I think I saw him after that message where I said I'll come home and say I'm doing laundry, because I didn't want him going to my parents' house right then when he said there was probably cops outside. So I went back home, and it was just him there, and I said bye to him, and then he drove off. So I just went back to my parents' house.
Oh, and to those in the chat who say that the texts from Tyler came or were sent when he was in police custody, there's no timeline that would verify that. I know Candace Owens is telling you what to think, but no, that's not true. According to the police, anyway, according to the FBI, and according to Lance Twiggs, who received and sent messages in return. So this is all they showed of the Lance Twiggs second interview. And this thing goes on.
He acted erratically. Was he pacing? Was he just sitting down, relaxing?
No, he was walking around a lot.
And that's within...
Okay, listen to this. This is what you will need to listen to. This is Lance Twiggs, Tyler's boyfriend / trans girlfriend. I don't even know. And he's talking about when Tyler came home and how he acted and how he admitted what he had done.
In the home. Mm-hmm. And did he talk about what he had done?
Didn't go into detail. I just asked him in person if what he said was true the night before, and he said it was. I started crying a little bit and said he wishes he hadn't done it. And then kept going around and just doing stuff, I think, to keep himself busy or distracted or something.
Okay. Did he talk about what he was going to do next?
And then eventually said that he would talk to his parents or turn himself over.
Okay. And when you left, was that how you left, understanding that he was going to turn himself in or go to his parents' house?
Yeah, and I didn't really want to be at our apartment while any of that was happening, regardless of what went down.
Okay. Okay, before he came home, had you seen the press releases, any of the media on this?
I'd seen one Instagram link a friend of mine had sent in our group chat,
okay.
But I hadn't really looked into it at all.
And had you seen the images that were released of the suspect?
I did the next day. I don't think I saw any on.
Now, this is important because now he's going to identify Tyler Robinson as being on campus through the FBI photos. The FBI, Kash Patel's guys, they all knew Charlie Kirk, right? I mean, at least Kash did, and people in charge of the administration. They knew Charlie. He was one of their friends. He helped Donald Trump. And so the FBI got on this like stink on poop very quickly. So I want you to listen to this.
The tech. I'm going to show you a couple of those images.
Looking at the FBI
I'm on the FBI's
website.
You can see the URL there at the top. This is some press release about this event. And here on the screen.
One more interruption. I am putting this out there because of so many people, like those in the chat right now, who don't believe that Tyler Robinson did it. Okay, you can believe that, obviously. But you can't disbelieve the facts that they're telling you in court. This is all under oath. You may not believe everybody. You may think APAC paid for it or whatever nonsense. I just want you to hear the boyfriend.
You see these, looks like there's 2 rows of 3 images.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recognize the person in these images?
I wouldn't say it with 100% certainty just because of camera quality, but that looks like him in terms of the shoes he's wearing, the sunglasses. I don't think I'd specifically seen him wearing that hat, but he was usually wearing a hat, and then jeans. So it definitely, especially the bottom, the last 2, definitely do look like him.
Uh-oh, hey, everybody, you hear that?
Oh, they do look like Tyler Robinson.
Uh-oh. They do look like Tyler Robinson.
You talked about that with your friends, right? This is like him.
Yeah, his friends. Yeah, I don't know if I don't remember if I talked about it with any of my friends. And then since I didn't have my phone after that for a while, and I still am not using social media, I don't know on my friends' end.
Okay. All right, I want to back up a little bit now. We've talked about September 10th, but let me get a little bit of context here. So, did you game with Tyler?
Yeah.
What kind of games?
Played some just kind of party games together, like anything that would be multiplayer with a group of friends. There was one game he really liked called Sea of Thieves, where you play as like a pirate, and you can fight against people, but most of it's just like fishing, fighting sharks, skeletons kind of stuff. We played some co-op games where it's like you both have to work together to win in whatever way. Way back when I was just out of high school, when I first knew him online, we played some like shooting games together, but I didn't know him very well, so that was just when we had like a whole friend group on to play, and he was someone that my friends invited.
Okay. Did you and he ever talk about politics?
He did more than me. I still don't really keep up with politics very much. He'd usually talk about stuff he heard on the radio on his drive to work in like their work car, since it sounds like their whole crew went in the same car most of the time. But I wouldn't say super consistently, because it wasn't a topic I really contributed much on.
What about Charlie Kirk? Did you ever talk about Charlie Kirk?
I personally had never heard him talk about Charlie Kirk before specifically.
Okay. How about political issues? So did you ever talk about gender identity issues and LGBTQ rights?
No, not really.
It was a given.
Usually if he did talk about politics stuff, it was relating to Trump or current like policies being like issued or voted on, I think. But yeah.
Okay, so before that you have been?
For a short time, yes.
Okay. And I understand you're going by Luna at some point?
To some people, yeah, but not as an overall thing.
That was his trans ID, Luna. There's going to be some redaction here.
Okay. Okay. I think that's all the questions I have for this portion. Let me check and see if I've missed anything. The Dremel that you talked about, you said he had asked for that, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And had he told you it was to inscribe bullets?
Yeah.
And so did you have a Dremel then?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in our, our apartment, we had a section where we kept all our, random tools for household stuff in our, lower basement level pantry. So, yeah.
Okay. And did you give that to him or tell him where it was?
I just told him where it was, yeah.
And the Dremel was used to put the sayings and inscriptions on every shell casing that was used in, or several of the shell casings used in the shooting. Some of them were spent, some of them were unspent shells for the 30-06 Mauser. The reason I'm playing this is because it's important, because there's so much misinformation. It's basically what I do for the Epstein files. We go over the documents. We go over what's in the Epstein files. And we usually do that on Epstein Thursdays, not today, however, because I have this trial stuff. But I do that so that we all know. We can all share the same facts. Because if you don't look at the facts that are available to you and you fill in with surmise, like, well, okay, wild, crazy thoughts, or so-and-so told me, then you really don't know anything, do you? So, yeah, it does seem to be a thing with transgender shooters. Yeah, that is somewhat... I think he was trying to have a hero's arc, Tyler Robinson, because his boyfriend was a tranny. And I think that was probably part of his motivation. And then he said that Charlie shouldn't live because he was a hateful person. Yeah, and Charlie wasn't a hateful person. Charlie was a political conservative and a Christian. That's it.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording for the 1102 purposes.
The 1102 is the report, an evidence report, a sort of transcript, if you will, of a person's interview with the authorities, and it's entered into evidence.
It's 16. Ms. Hunt.
Thank you, Judge. Agent Davis, I asked you yesterday, but I want to remind the court and those present. Were you physically present at the interview we just watched in State's Exhibit 16?
Yes, I was there.
And aside from the court-ordered redactions, did it appear to you to be fair and accurate about what you remember that interview that day?
Yes. Yes, I do.
During that interview, did Mr. Twiggs, was he shown or referenced certain items of evidence?
Yes, he was.
What types of items of evidence was he shown?
It was the text messages between himself and Tyler Robinson, a Discord chat messages, and a handwritten note.
And then we also saw in the video, he was also shown the FBI press release photos of the potential suspect.
That's correct, yes.
Have you reviewed all of those items as part of the investigation?
Yes, I have.
You're familiar with them?
Yes.
All right, I want to put just on the witness's screen what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 16.1. And for the record, this includes the edit that the one edit that the court has previously ordered.
Thank you.
Let me know when you see that on your screen.
I see it. I see it now.
Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a photograph of screenshots of text messages between Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs.
Okay, let's skip. Let's skip over. Okay, shut up there, Lance. We're going now to look at the text messages that we knew about these text messages, right? So we knew about them right after because they exploited his phone, Lance Twiggs' phone, almost immediately upon receiving it. They took it to Salt Lake City and they had, those guys who do that kind of thing, exploit the intel out of it, and they got the text messages. And there's one text message here in which Tyler Robinson tells him to delete the thread. And I assume he did. I think that's what we heard. And of course, they were able to get it from the exploitation by the Salt Lake City FBI lab. Okay, so let's go over to the text thread in which Tyler Robinson admits that he did it.
It's just with iPhone distinguishes the messages. And also Lance in his interview also acknowledges that, who was saying what.
And up at the top, who do we see that this thread is between?
Tyler.
All right, sorry to interrupt you. So read that again, starting from look under the keyboard.
So after that, then Lance responds, he says, what? And then he says, you're joking, right? And then Tyler says, fuck, I tried to delete that.
We could scroll down to page 2. And if you can continue reading along.
Okay. And Tyler says, I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. And then Lance replies, you weren't the one who did it, right? And Tyler says, I am, I'm sorry. Lance says, I thought they caught the person. And then Tyler says, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude and interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from the drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering.
We could scroll down to page 3. Continue reading.
Lance says, why? And Tyler says, why did I do it? And Lance says, yeah. Tyler says, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything in the news about them finding it. We'll update you shortly, we'll update you by midnight. And then Lance says, all right, stay safe. How long have you been planning this?
Scroll down a little bit, please, Kimberly.
And Tyler replies, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it.
We can scroll down to page 4.
This is why the defense didn't want this into evidence in the preliminary hearing, because because this is the only thing that's going to be televised. So this procedure here, they got the whole trial where no cameras in the courtroom. They already ruled on that. I would like to see them revisit this, because I think the world should know about this case, and I think that they should know what happened here. And instead of having, I can't go to you. Well, I guess I could, but honestly.
And continue.
So here is the smoke. This is the smoking gun, guys. And there are also, there's DNA on the gun, and that's Tyler Robinson's DNA. And there was DNA of the boyfriend on the towel surrounding the gun that he couldn't get back and retrieve because he waited and waited and waited for hours to get that. And that's when they were doing this text chain. So the people in the chat who say, okay, there's no chance that this was sent. It's just too darn pat, right? I get it. I don't trust cops either. Generally, I trust in my constitutional rights first. Then I'll trust cops. In this case, they exploited the phone, got it out, talked to Twigs, and there's timestamps on it. So I'm not entirely sure how you think that this occurred when he'd already turned himself in. So stop with, let's deal with the facts and not with now void and moot conspiracy theories.
Being about halfway down, I'll stop you about halfway down.
This is while they were spot, but I don't want to chance it while they were parked there. If they'd found it, I imagine there would be more commotion. Again, I'm sorry for roping you into all of this. You shouldn't have to worry about this. And Lance replies, does anyone else know? Tyler says, not to my knowledge.
All right, I'll stop you there. Let's move to page 5. So this should be page 4, so just scroll
Now,
down
not
one.
all of them were allowed to be
And if you could
included.
read starting, sorry, Kimberly, scroll a bit more down. If you could read, I don't know, about a 1/3 of the way up that starts with guess.
Okay. Tyler says, guess I'm just sitting in my car watching reels for another hour, hoping this guy fucks off.
And continue.
And Lance says, are you okay still? And Tyler says, yes, check and spot again now. Will.
Sorry, now we're on page 6. Continue reading.
We'll update soon. He continues, the squad car was moved further away enough that I should be able to move in. I backed off because I thought I heard footsteps, maybe a foot patrol, but the crickets here are so fucking loud. Gonna see if the road closer to campus is open so I can drive past and check shit out. Probably still closed off though. Getting worried, hard to know for sure, but I'm not finding my rifle. Could be in the wrong spot. Lance says, do you think they found it? And Tyler says, dunno, they haven't published anything if they have.
So this is before the
Lance
weapon's
says, why
been
did you leave it
found.
behind?
Oh, sorry, Kimberly, if you could scroll down.
Originally. Also, does it have a serial number?
We could scroll to page 7. And I'll continue reading. I'll stop you on this page in a little bit.
Okay. So Tyler continues, IDEK, if I had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me, I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits, didn't have the ability or time to bring it with.
And stop there, please. And then if we could go to the next page, page 8. And if you could start at the top.
Okay, so Lance says, was your change of clothes there or was that also gone? Or did you bring those with you originally? Anyway, you could replace the gun or would he notice?
Yeah, it's a
And
World War
Tyler
II
says,
era
only
gun.
thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. I'll bet that canine sniffed it out. Little snitching bastard. Replace it unlikely. I don't fully know what the gun was because it was old as shit and Gramps did some modifying. There was a 4-digit serial on it. God only knows who it's registered to. Hopefully some dead guy who gave it to Grandpa. And he continues, remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke.
And then continue. I'll stop you in a moment.
He says, all right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really fucking sucks.
And let me stop you there. And then if we could go on to the next page, page 9.
He's talking about the murder weapon.
And do you see the first blue message we see on page 9? Can you start there?
Yes. So Lance says, do you need it for hunting? And Tyler says, no, my dad wanted to use a high caliber for the rifle hunt. Judging from today, I say Gramps' gun does just fine. IDK. I think that was a 2K scope. Lance says, geez. And then Tyler says, OMW, home.
If you had just committed a murder of a popular American political figure and religious figure, would you be talking about, I guess my grandpa's going to be upset that the 2K scope is gone. He was able to put a 2K scope on his grandpa's gun, which I understand was a World War II era gun, if I'm not mistaken. And I could be confusing that with a different case, but I think it's old. And so anyway, he took it and then he used it in the murder. And now grandpa's gone. Dad's going to be really mad. That's what he's worried about.
3.5 hours. Lance says, drive safe.
Drive safe, honey.
Tyler says, delete this exchange.
And I'll stop you right there. And then, sorry, we're on page 9. If we can scroll to page 15. And then the second grade message on page 15, if you could start there.
Okay. So this is Tyler. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. We hope to keep things sort of quiet here.
And then I'll stop you there.
Okay. To all you people in the chat and to all you people out there who are going to watch this now or later, there is a tell right there. This is him saying that this chat exchange, this text exchange, happened before he turned himself in, which apparently is a big conspiracy theory. Kind of wild, but I thought I knew most of the conspiracy theories. Apparently did not hear that one.
And we can remove the exhibit from the screen. Thank you, Kimberly. We mentioned a Cellbrite extraction of Mr. Twig's phone. Do you know what time that last text was sent?
Yeah, I recall it was just before 8 p.m. on September 11th. It was, I think, 7:42 p.m. is my recollection.
I'm sorry, September 11th?
Yes.
Would September 12th make sense? Or you're saying September 11th?
So September 11th was when he turned himself in.
Okay.
It was September 11th, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yep.
All right, I'm going to show just for the witness, States Exhibit 16.2. Let me know when you see that.
Okay, I see it.
Do you recognize this?
I do, yep.
What is it?
This is just more photos of Lance's phone. And
How
these
do you-
are, these are sorry, how to bring, sorry, go with your question, please.
I'm just asking what it is. So you said it's a photo of Lance's phone. Do you know if that's from the same time period as the exhibit we just looked at?
Yes.
And what is it of?
These are the Discord messages of that Lance had talked about.
How do you know that?
So Lance, in the first interview with FBI, shows the phone. The photos are taken by Agent Larson, and then these images are shown to Lance during a second interview, and he confirms that these are those same messages, and this is photos of Lance's phone.
You mentioned an Agent Larson took the photos. Do you know if he's the same agent that took the photos of this exhibit, 16.2?
Yes, same agent.
And you spoke with him to confirm that?
Yes, I did.
Are you aware if Mr. Twiggs is actually part of this Discord thread?
Yes, he is a part of it. He doesn't, in this section, he doesn't reply to it, but he does state in his statement that he was part of that thread.
Does he identify whether Mr. Robinson is part of that thread?
He does.
And when did that happen?
He identifies that in his first interview with the two FBI agents, and then he again confirms that in his second interview.
Did Mr. Twiggs say what username on Discord Mr. Robinson used, at least with respect to this thread?
Yes, it's the Tyler/Ikum, IKUM.
And is Exhibit 16.2 a fair and accurate representation of that Discord thread?
Yes, it is.
Did law enforcement send, as part of your investigation, did law enforcement send a subpoena to Discord?
Yes, they did.
Were these messages recovered via that subpoena?
They were.
Did you review that?
Yes, I did.
And in State's Exhibit 16.2 that is before you, when is the first message from Tyler sent?
7:57 p.m.
And it says yesterday. Do you have any knowledge of what day that would have been?
Yes, this would have been September 11th.
So Tyler sends the first message that you're seeing on Exhibit 16.2, September 11th at 7:57 p.m.
Yes, that's correct.
You testified earlier that Mr. Robinson arrived at the Washington County Sheriff's Office approximately at 9 p.m. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And although you weren't physically present there yet because you were flying down, how do you know that he arrived approximately around 9 p.m.?
Just based on the police reports I reviewed and then go back and look at the video and such.
Judge, the state moves to admit State's Exhibit 16.2 and publish it pursuant to court order.
Mr. Novak.
Thank you. We've already lodged all.
From Lance.
Okay. So that's another one. We've got another, I'm trying to think of that. That's the third big piece of smoking gun evidence is the note that Tyler Robinson left under his computer for Lance to find. I believe this is the one in which that is discussed.
I see it.
Do you recognize this?
I do.
What is this?
This is a handwritten note or letter from Tyler to Lance.
How do you know that?
In Lance's first interview with FBI, he tells them about this letter note he found under Tyler's keyboard per a text message he received. He states from 11 p.m. on September 10th. And so at that point, Lance finds this. This is the letter he finds under that keyboard.
Okay, so to clarify, Mr. Twiggs gets a text from Mr. Robinson around 11 p.m. on September 10th telling him to look under his keyboard.
Yes, correct.
And this is what Mr. Twiggs represented was underneath the keyboard.
Yes, yes.
How did law enforcement get this photograph?
So following Lance's first interview at St. George PD, his phone is recovered at that point, taken into evidence. It is downloaded, I believe it was the following day or shortly after that. The FBI transported that phone to the RCFL, which is the Regional Computer Forensic Laboratory in Salt Lake City. The phone was downloaded through Celebrite, and after that, following that download was complete, SBI received a flash drive containing that download. From there, it went to a SIAC analyst to go through that data of his phone to look for.
Hey, conspiracy theorists, this is a chain of custody piece of information that you need to know that you can rely on unless they want to go to jail and somebody finds out that they've been lying, and then they're going to go to prison for perjury. But here we go.
Any pertinent evidence or information that may be on there. And at that point, that this image of this letter was located.
All right, I'm going to break down a few things. You mentioned, I just want to make sure the record's clear. You mentioned Celebrite a few times. What is Celebrite?
It's a downloading software that's commonly used by law enforcement. I don't do that myself, but it's commonly used to recover data, to download electronic devices, particularly cell phones.
And then you mentioned SIAC. What does that mean?
It's the Statewide Information Analysis Center. It's a division within DPS. It's a fusion center. They assist law enforcement with intelligence, various intelligence information for our investigations.
You mentioned that you don't personally do Cellbrite phone extractions. Have you spoken to the law enforcement officers that performed the Cellbrite extraction on Mr. Twig's phone in this case?
I don't believe I specifically talked to those individuals, the RCFL, that did that. But they, yeah, that was then provided to SBI.
Did you speak with officers at SBI that have recovered this photo that we're seeing in States Exhibit 16.3?
Yes, I've spoken to, I have spoken with an SIAC analyst who in particular found this image. I've spoken to her personally as well.
Was Mr. Twiggs shown what's been marked as States Exhibit 16.3 during his second interview?
Yes, he was.
And again, you were present for that?
Yes, I was there.
Is Exhibit 16.3 a fair and accurate representation of the photo law enforcement obtained from Mr. Twiggs' phone and that he was subsequently shown in the second interview?
Yes, it's fair and accurate.
Your Honor, the state would move to admit Exhibit 16.3 and then also publish pursuant to court order.
Mr. Novak.
Just noting the objections that have previously been made, and I think that the court's order is that it may be published in the courtroom only.
Thank you. Noting the standing objection by defense, 16.3, correct?
Correct.
Is admitted into evidence and may be published only in the courtroom and not be shown or videoed.
Yeah, so that's we're out on that. See, this is why I think cameras in the courtroom are so important. Yeah, and yes, I know. I got to go to the OJ trial for part of it, and but I did notice inside the courtroom what a disaster that prosecution was, and you could tell that from 10 miles away. But inside the courtroom, golly, talk about playing to the camera. Oh yeah, and Johnny Cochran, masterful. Not going to take a thing away from him. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. Of course, it didn't fit because it was dried and whatever. But yeah, I know that there are antics in front of cameras. I get it, but I think that our reaction and our perception of the information is also worth something, probably worth more than their having to put up with their drama. So that's just my 2 cents as a reporter for a gazillion years. I prefer to have more information, not less. It's a watchword. I prefer not to have people canceled. Yeah. Is Candace Owens throwing out poison? Absolutely. Do I want her to be canceled or censored? No. Do I want her to clean up her act? Absolutely. Do I want her listeners and followers to be smarter? Yes. That's what I want. Okay, so we've got one more before we go, and there are a couple other things today, too.
Of what you reviewed from the FBI and that the FBI released?
Yes, it is.
The state moves to admit Exhibit 16.4 and publish according to court order.
Mr. Novak.
Standing objection, Your Honor.
Standing objection by defense. Overruling that objection, States Exhibit 16.4 is admitted into evidence and may be published in the courtroom.
And again, in the Discord,
so this is the Discord chat when they were playing games and stuff like that. That's where they did a lot of chat with their teams and such, their friends, their friend group. And so that's being shown in the court, and we can't see it for whatever reason. I don't know what the deal is. There's also another letter that they were talking about keeping out, and that letter was from a board member of Turning Point, and it was a letter having to do with the belief systems of Turning Point. Charlie Kirk, he was a mentor to Charlie, and it pertains to the Turning Point belief system, and it's also about their foundational principles in Christian faith, traditional Christian faith, and how Charlie Kirk was a believer in traditional Christian values. And talked about Matthew, the part of Matthew where it talks about how, once again, I mean, it's multiple places where this has occurred. Genesis not the only place. Matthew refers to God made one man, one woman, that sort of thing, and never the twain shall meet. Iterations and that sort of thing. So that's what it referred to. This is the enmity which Charlie received, I think unfairly, obviously, about his belief system, about the very traditional Christian belief system, and that he believes, and the prosecution believes, they wanted this to come in. Defense did not want this letter in. They did not even want to give an ounce of a scintilla of a vestige of a possibility that religious beliefs had anything to do with it. I think that we know that that's not true, because it all stems from the foundational principles upon which he acted. Okay. And this is not unusual. A lot of Christians with Christian beliefs are murdered and martyred for their faith. It's happening in Nigeria right now. It's happening all over the world. They don't say anything about that in some certain areas. People are not, you're a Christian, burn her at the stake. They do it for other reasons. You're intolerant. You're a racist. You're virtually Hitler. Those kinds of excuses. But really, what their concern and their point is that they don't like their foundational belief system of Christianity, Judeo-Christian beliefs. It's the same thing with the Jews. Same thing. The Saturday people, after they come for the Saturday people, they come for the Sunday people. And so, okay. Now, so the final news of the day is that, and I found that this guy's reporting, Brecken Thies, who's over at the Federalist, state rests its case and preliminary hearings of the murder trial of Tyler Robinson. Now, remember, this is not the trial. This is just a way to present evidence to find out if there's enough evidence pointing to guilt to bound over someone for trial. Okay. The other thing is that today, DNA testimony linking Robinson to the 30-06 rifle, swabs of the stock and the bolt of the rifle, DNA profiles are at least 1 trillion times more likely if they had originated from Tyler Robinson. Let's see, swabs of the butt plate, the DNA profile, 1 trillion times more likely if it originated from Tyler Robinson. Obviously, it's his DNA on the thing. Then we have the bullets. There are pictures of the bullets here. These are the ones with the messages on them. It says, "Notice this bulge. OWO what? This? Hey, fascist, catch. Oh, Bella Ciao, ciao, ciao. If you read this, you are gay." So there was that part of it as well. This is the one that, what does this one say? Notice this bulge. OWO. He did that with Lance Twiggs Dremel. This, question mark, that's what this one is. And those are the ones they were showing in court. Here's the case for the rifle. There it is. The alleged murder weapon. Well, it's not an alleged murder. The murder weapon. Here we go with more of the messages that he put on the bullets. This one is catch. Bella Ciao, an Antifa, used by Antifa now, song, poem. Everything comes back down to the left and their radical politics, i.e. Antifa. Let's see, what else do we have? This is the one that says, I can't read it. Oh, this is Chow Chow. What is that, Bella Chow, though? Yeah, it might be Bella Chow. So there you go. So the state rests in this case, this preliminary hearing, to determine whether or not there is enough evidence to bound over Tyler Robinson for trial. Obviously, there is. There are multiple confessions. And there is other information that we can't see because the defense did not want it to be seen because they said it would be too prejudicial against their client, i.e. it makes their client look really bad. we don't want to show it. There was some hearsay, okay, and that had to do with the 14th Amendment and Sixth Amendment problems. So thank you for this very enlightening show today, Victoria. Your summary is well received. Remember, let's see, thank you, Jordan. I appreciate all your help. Remember, the aliens placed the rifle there and in his DNA. There you go. Yeah. It's been great spending some time with you. We're on to the 2-hour mark, and I feel very bad for my producer. He's going to have to come up with shorts and videos of this. Be that as it may, however, I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here. I know a lot of Tommy Boy fans are over here, and I really appreciate it. And thank you for the subs. Do appreciate that. I want all of you to please share, like, and, sub. Appreciate it. Like, comment as well. And we'll see you on Thursday. So, I'm sorry, did I say that? Today's Thursday. We'll see you on Tuesday. Tuesday and Thursdays, 1 o'clock Pacific to probably, usually 2:30-ish. And thanks for the show. Tommy! There you go. Yeah, Tommy's, one more thing about that, about Tommy and being attacked in his home. I'm not going to give up. I want the feds to look into this. They already are looking into Antifa, determining that it is a domestic terror organization. We found out that the conspiracy alleged and founded in a Texas courtroom with respect to the North Texas Antifa cell there, the conspiracy there to attack ICE officers and to set an explosion there, so to cause them to come out. It's like what the Pallies do, and it's also like what Al Qaeda does. When they have an explosion, they get the people out there for the fire and police to come out, and then they blow them up in a secondary explosion. That's what they did to the cops in North Texas. So when they accepted the secondary aspect of it, they shot them. These are evil people. They're very misguided. And they need to learn some history, preferably American history, before they make one more move. Appreciate you being here. Take care, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode of the Adult in the Room podcast. We do not take you for granted. We appreciate every single person who tunes in every week to listen and watch this program. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday, live streaming on Rumble, and then on every other podcast platform shortly thereafter, when we can port it over and get it over there as soon as we can. All the shows can be found at victoriataft.com, where the censorship regime has been banned by me. Follow me on social media at these names: Victoria Taft, the Adult in the Room podcast, and the Victoria Taft Show. Send media inquiries, or any others for that matter, to victoria@victoriataft.com. And here's a big ask. Would you please subscribe, share, like, comment, recommend, and give this program a 5-star rating where you can? We really appreciate it. We do not take that for granted either. Follow my work at, you guessed it, victoriataft.com. PJ Media, I write tons over there. Flamingo Audiobooks, and of course the radio. I don't do this alone. This show is produced and engineered by Overall Media. 1A Cast is responsible for some of the Adult in the Room podcast's imaging. Logo design by Hageman Creative. The Adult in the Room podcast is produced at Flamingo Road Studios. All rights reserved.